In a world where walls are not barriers, mountains can be overcome in a single bound, and bosses don't get far, our runners must turn to Plan B. Push B to jump. Rated R for randomizer. Hey there, my name is Jeep Launcher. I'm here with Alice Sale. We're here on a Wednesday night for some delicious Push B to Jump Mysidian Jumping Club action. Alice Sale, this should be a fun one. We've got really two good runners, Antidale and LQ Flurry 14, taking a break from our upcoming tournament practice to get some jumping in.
Yep, absolutely. Antidale is our club captain, and this will be our last Push B to Jump that's going to be broadcast before the Zima Zone 4 tournament.
Yeah, so Antidale and Flurry are definitely going to want to end things with a bang. Taking a look at these objectives here, we've got the standard objectives: complete the Giant of Babel, complete the Sealed Cave, trade away the Pinktail. The two random objectives: unlock that Pastor in Troya, liberate Baron Castle. Liberate Baron Castle means the Baron Key is going to be required, though with the Push B to jump. You don't actually need the Baron Key. You can just waltz right into the throne room.
Yep, that's a pretty quick objective if you get some good starting characters or some nice J items.
Yeah, that Tela start means it's going to be a little bit slow, but our runners will have plenty of ways to attack the seed. There are lots of key items up for grabs without any bosses guarding them, so it should be a nice scavenger hunt, especially with Atella. You get access to exit. You can just walk out of many of the places. We're glad you're with us. We're underway.
And we have a ew. This is not the dream.
No.
Golbez, not fun. Yang isn't great early game, and Tella doesn't really have his utility until you've gone up Mount Ordeals, so hopefully there's somebody good on hops.
That's a nice hook, but again, in Push B to Jump, it's not strictly required to get underground, though they're going to need it when they trade away that Pinktail. That Golbez is actually in a pretty decent spot because he's not strictly necessary to get there, but yeah, do want to thank our restreamer Escorian and our tracker Reckless Charlie for coming along with us tonight, and we're glad you're here as well. Flurry going straight into Baron Castle, going to loot out that Baron treasury by hopping right over the guards.
Yep, both our runners taking a very similar path. A Charm Harp, the value.
And I saw a Charm Claw, which that Yang would be happy to have. Can you sense the sarcasm a little bit?
Oh, is that a claw? I should put my glasses on.
And Charm Claw and Drain Spear in the same clump of treasure chest. Our restreamer Escorian, who rolled this seed, really wants to play up the memes here.
Did find a coffin and an Aegis shield. Coffins are great for killing enemies without the boss bit or killing some eggs, and Aegis shields are great because they're just a great shield.
Yeah, a great stat boosting shield really beefs up the physical defense. Flurry heading over to Troya. Remember, there is a key item here just from talking to Edward in the bed, which is where Flurry is going. Antidale, meanwhile, heading to Damsian, going to loot some more and activate that hovercraft.
And I did not see what we got.
And that was a Baron Key.
Well, that's useless.
Want to welcome in the Raiders from Oscar424. Welcome in. We just started this push B to jump Mysidian Jumping Club race. Antidale and Flurry just underway. Both have looted out Baron with a starting hook.
And it looks like Antidale has raised that hovercraft. Meanwhile, Flurry is going to go and hop down to the underground, it looks like.
Yeah, the meta on push B to jump hasn't really been firmly established. I know some runners really like to chain the entire Troya Cave Magnus checks all together. Some prefer to go underground first. Flurry heading underground, going to check those Evelyn shops. Hourglass 2s and Star Veils in the item shop there.
And it looks like Antidale, changing his mind on what he wants to do, decides he's going to go steal from the Dark Elf.
And Antidale might be making the combination Troya play after taking that key item from the Dark Elf. You could go straight up the Tower of Zot, get those 2 characters without facing any bosses either.
With that Bahamut summon sitting in their inventory, I would think they're both hoping for a small murder Rydia.
Flurry about to check the character. That's a Foo. That's useful. Now, the Foo challenge flag is on, and the thing about push B to jump is Foo isn't as immediately useful because you don't get as many opportunities to fight bosses. So still better than just the Tele Yang life.
Yep. Even with 1 or 2 bosses, you can get some of those utility skills. Those are not the skills you really wanted. Cure 1 is not the dream.
Antidale picks up the Luca key from the Cave Magnus, and that's required. That's an objective.
And big thank you to Dusty Griff with bringing in some raiders. Again, the race just started, and we've got 2 great runners here, Antidale and LQ Flurry.
Flurry, despite hopping over the Rubicante spot, cannot hop over the pitfall. Well, actually, he can. He just doesn't want to because there's nothing back there. Saw a Leviathan up at the top of the Tower of Babel. That's a very doable boss at that spot. Not with this party just yet, but Flurry knows that he has a great opportunity waiting for him when he gets a little bit of firepower behind him.
Yep, the magic power is extremely low at that spot, and those Ice 2s are going to be doing probably double digits at most.
Antidale did pick up his Baron key, and did not decide to go up the Tower of Zot to get more characters. Knows that there's a character waiting for him down the hook path. The problem with getting those 2 characters up at the top of the tower is it takes a long time and you have to walk all the way back down.
And we did get a temp job dwarf check. It was a power line something.
Fitter and installer. So if you need power, which this party needs power right now, so maybe they could recruit that job dwarf to help them out.
Some power lines would be a good way to take care of that Leviathan.
Flurry going back up above ground. Doesn't want to mess around with the other checks. Oh, that's a samurai bow for sale.
That was a Sork robe for sale, too. So some very nice, powerful items if you can get some cash for them.
And Flurry thinking about dipping into the Mist Cave, possibly for loot, possibly to get Fusoya a boss, but decides against it and is going up to Hobbs instead.
And welcome raiders from Carnot's stream. Carant's stream.
Are your eyes okay?
Well, I put my glasses on, so
Okay.
we're halfway there.
Putting the glasses on is half the battle. And which twin did I see at the top of Hobbs? I think that was Porum. Flurry's not interested.
I totally didn't see because I was trying to pronounce names.
Guarded by an antlion, which with this party not having very many ways to deal damage just yet is just annoying.
Yeah, they've found some great gear for characters they sure don't have, and still really not the dream.
Flurry deciding to go back underground. There, a Gaia robe. Just lying around, not bad at all. Antidale, meanwhile, uncovering his falcon. And a ribbon in the vanilla rat tail chest. So, we can really defensively kit out this party. Still don't really have ways to do damage.
Yep, unfortunately, this team just, until they start taking on some bosses and start leveling up that foo, they're kind of stuck.
And that's a Dark Elf and a Dr. Luge in the King Queen Evelyn spot. Now, we know that they are canonically married to each other, and I think that's nice.
With their robot dog.
They both recognize the power of metamorphosis. They can both change. So, you know, they're very understanding of each other, I want to think.
And strength rings for sale there in Tomra. And still, I mean, you could give one to Yang, but why?
Yeah, so with the exception of Tella, everybody in this party really needs to run into some bosses or something to be useful. And that's just not what happens in Push B to Jump, at least not in the early game. A nice heroine robe.
And an elven bow. So if we say found a Rosa or Iridia, or picked up that Porum.
Flurry finds a Sparkle, and it's those Lunars. Gonna go after them with Fire 1.
Fu doing a little bit of damage there thanks to his pretty nice starting gear.
Yeah, I didn't see what kind of weapon Fu started with. The Sea Neki flag is on, so the characters don't start off with any actual armor. They start off with a low-level weapon. Gets that Lip 2, which is going to be useful, and a tower key.
And also got Exit, which Tella, of course, can cast.
But at least having one level 2 spell going to be an immense help early on here. So, Flurry glad to see that.
And looks like Flurry is going to go pick up that Porum. Maybe with that Lit 2 spell, feeling a little more confident in taking out the Antlion.
I think so. I think that's a really good play, especially with the archer gear that we have. Porum can do some nice little damage here. Plus, it's another boss for that Foo. Maybe you get lucky, you get Virus on the next pickup.
Yep, Virus, Quake, get really lucky and maybe get Nuke.
That would be something.
That's probably not possible, but it's like every chest you don't open is a crystal sword. I can help.
Right. Yeah, I believe it's possible. Antidale is the one who has all these percentages memorized. I believe it's possible, although very unlikely, to get Nuke in one of the first couple of bosses for Foo.
And Antidale, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Flurry did pick up Porum to get her some levels, and does defeat that Antlion.
Meanwhile, Antidale is going with the attacker Foo position.
Let Foo hit things.
Oh, sorry.
Flurry going straight to ordeals. Meanwhile, I like this play because not only do you get Tella his full suite of spells, but you only have to go through one boss to get there, and it's a very easy boss. And a key item, just basically, it takes a little bit of time, but now's a good time to just take care of it before heading into Fabul.
Yep, and you also sometimes hope for something like a pan. You can single dip Fabul, single dip the Sylph Cave.
Restreamer is Corian pointing out that it is only one boss, but it could be the All Gauntlet. Flurry taking his time and skips across the bridge with ease. It could be the Gauntlet, but even here, the Gauntlet is just more annoying than threatening.
Well, and this is the Gauntlet is one of those few bosses that will give... I'm a witch! I'm a witch!
It's the Demons. Antidale, meanwhile, going for some levels, has that Luca key, going for doors.
I mean, Yang definitely benefits from some levels.
Yeah, unfortunately, Antidale doesn't really have a good source of reflect, and with these low levels, the trapdoor is really fast.
Looks like is going to get the Disrupt off and get some levels on that Yang.
So that'll be nice. We'll see how many of these Antidale wants to do. But yeah, Yang really hurting for some levels with that Luca key. Not a slow way to get them. Meanwhile, Flurry going back down the mountain, pan in hand. Pan and scan. I don't know, I'm just spouting movie turns at this point, but Flurry going to go straight underground and pick up all three of those key item opportunities.
Yep, this will be a nice sweep of key items. Probably looking for maybe something that will get him a character. Maybe some rat tails, pink tails, darkness crystal.
Antidel struck out on one particular door, which you hate to see, but there are plenty of other opportunities.
Those doors love to go for Yang. And we get another one of those useless key items in the Earth Crystal.
Now, the Earth Crystal does give access to the treasury.
Who wants that?
You know, if you really like hurting for stuff, if you just like having baubles in your inventory, that's a perfectly fine way to do it.
And it does look like Antidale is done with doors for a little while.
Yeah, I didn't see what level he got Young up to, but Young, I believe, has over 1,000 HP at this point, so should be able to start clobbering people fairly soon.
And Antidale is going to be punished with a double dip of the Sylph Cave.
Yep, if only he'd listened to you, Alisale.
You see, that's a dangerous prospect.
Well, you knew what was up. Ooh, silk webs for sale in Fabul. Flurry picks up a couple of 2 Tritos. And will help the King of Fabul defend the crystal, because he's not a monster. Have you ever selected no on that screen?
Oh yeah. Game doesn't really like it when you do that.
It gets passive-aggressive about it, too. Well, that's a decision you could make. The Kaipo soldiers have forgotten which particular building they're entering and invading and go for Fabul Castle instead. Flurry shows them the error of their ways very quickly.
And we get Fire 2 for our troubles.
And a Zeus Rage, and a 3rd Charm Claw.
For if you really want your accuracy to tank.
Just an embarrassment of riches. Sheila has an elixir and a legend sword. And so far, you know, the elixir's always nice to have, but they're available in Ablin's shop. And legend sword is halfway to an Excalibur that we can't really use.
Yeah, still not finding any progression.
Antidale gets the bad news and the pan. And Flurry's deciding he needs to do some shopping. And get the 5-finger discount. Okay. Another strength ring, a cat claw, some crystal armor for money. Not too bad.
Yeah, nothing really that helps the party, though.
No, it could have been worse. I'll give it a 4.
I mean, I'll give it a 2/3 healing out of 10.
Antidel making the trek back into Sylph Cave. And Flurry, it looks like, is deciding now's the time to complete one of those objectives, gonna try to liberate Baron Castle. Waltzes past the Golbez and the Beigen spot, and we'll see who's on the throne. Not too many enemies here that will give this party a ton of trouble, and this Karate Man is not one of them.
I just noticed that our Yang has his vanilla palette, so he's looking at the man in the mirror.
And instead of asking him to change his ways, he's just punching him in the face. This is the stick method of diplomacy, I think.
Well, it's kind of like that scene from Liar Liar.
The one where Jim Carrey spits out water all over the place?
I meant the one where he goes into the bathroom and beats himself up.
Well, yeah. But yeah, the physical attack here, not especially intimidating, especially against that Fu who's nicely armored up. And that Karate Man fades away.
And Flurry taking some time to try and organize his inventory.
And that's a really high-level thing to do, and if you can manage to do it, you're already well on your way to being a superb free enterprise player. Just knowing that there's not really anything you can do in those few seconds. That's free time for you to make things easier on yourself later. Wonderful stuff. And that's a little bit of vanilla in Sid coming.
And we do have an Earth Hammer for that Sid, so please come help us.
Yes. Yeah, he'll be a fine addition, a nice tank, which this party needs a little bit of. Can do a little bit of extra damage with that Earth Hammer. I believe we've seen a Dwarf Axe too. So Flurry does get a ninja shirt and our first objective.
We've also got all sorts of heavy armor for this Sid.
Antidale not interested in battling the Antlion for Quorum. Goes into the Antlion Cave instead.
Meanwhile, Flurry is going to check out who is in Baron Inn. Oh,
Edward.
It's an Edward.
Spoon flag is on. Blarg.
Wyvern is not on.
But Spot is slow, and that Zeus Rage takes care of it. Evil Wall in the second spot, one of the slowest boss spots in the game, does have some physical damage here, but this party should be well equipped to handle it.
Yep, just one ice 3 from that Fu, and the evil wall crumbles.
You know, I wonder if they have a permit to do all this wall demolition inside the inn.
Well, hopefully it wasn't load bearing. And Flurry making the correct choice of yeeting that Edward into the abyss.
And after Oscar did us a favor and raided us, you're just going to do this slander. I see how it is.
Asuka knows my feelings on Edward, and I know her feelings on Rydia.
Anyway, Flurry does have a few options here and is going to go back to Troya, maybe make that climb up the tower. Hasn't gone to Cape Magnus yet, so is going to tease us with music that will never come. And Antidale, another smart play. Did you notice what he did there? He had a kamikaze, used it on Fusoya. Fusoya had a lot of health remaining. The kamikaze, for whatever reason, bypasses the crumble that bosses in some spots, including on the Baron Throne, do. So instead, that karate just fades away, saves a few seconds. Very heads-up play by Antidale.
Yep, and that Fu really doesn't need levels, so who cares if he takes a little tumble?
Exactly. Fu gets that extra 100 HP and those extra spells if he's alive for the boss battle or not, or even if he's in your party or not. Flurry gets his Luca key. And Antidale Cid is all decked out in Dragoon armor. So the tank mechanic is on duty.
And looks like Flurry is going to go ahead and go up the Tower of Zot.
Yep, we were saying that Flurry could have done this at any time to grab the two characters that are up here, but Flurry had enough faith in his party to start that he wanted to wait until he could take care of the boss up here and not have to make a couple of trips. So Flurry does get to skip that first spot, but Antidale did get taken out by that Mega Nuke.
Yep, the magic in this spot is surprisingly strong. And decides, you know what, I really don't want that much effort for an Edward.
Yeah, the agility anchoring situation a little wonky. So decides now's not the time. Flurry picks up a Palom and an Edge. And takes on both. We've seen some nice stuff from Edge for Edge, and going to equip him with a full moon and a longsword.
And did have some a ninja shirt, which is one of those items that when you get, you're like womp womp, unless you actually do find an edge for it.
Doesn't have as much equipment for Palom, but does have a change rod, which I believe is +5 to the black magic stat.
Yep, and Antidale is right behind Flurry.
Antidale, it'll be interesting to see what positions in his party he has for the Boy Wonder. and the boy man. Flurry takes care of Mylon first, and if these gas get a punch off, look out.
Takes him down with flame.
That edge proving his worth right away. And Antidale ditches Palom.
Yeah, does not want that Palom, going for a full, I guess, full murder strategy.
The grown-ups are going to handle this on Antidale's side. Flurry gets the Sand Ruby. A whole bunch of key items. That's 9 key items so far on Flurry's side.
And looks like Flurry is going to take on Baron Castle. Or not Baron Castle, Dwarf Castle. As our restreamer Ascorian points out, we know that the Baron Guards are in the second spot.
Yeah, a free fight in the second spot. The first spot can be tricky, but with this party at these levels, Flurry is confident that he can handle whatever's there. I really like the edge color palette. Do you know the
I think it's from Street Fighter.
I just think the blue and orange is a really neat little combination.
Yeah, it looks wonderful. Antidale, I have so many questions.
Flurry facing all 4 of the elements, so we get to see all of the dancing sprites. Nice to see them. Not going to go for reflex strats.
A quick 1-2 punch here should easily take out the element spot.
And Flurry cleans it up without even tipping over to Valvalis and Kainazzo. They were dancing for nothing. And we'll see who the next person is who will help Flurry face down the Baron Guards. That's Cecil. We've seen some weapons for him, and Flurry's thinking about it.
And decides to ditch that Palom.
So, holding out hope that there's enough Cecil gear left in the seed. I don't know if Flurry sold off the Cecil gear or not, but we'll mute the guards for some extra safety, but the guards only have 3,000 HP at this spot. And Fu with Stone. Oh, living that Fu life.
Misses. Gonna try using a Grimoire.
Heighten there is a pretty good roll. And that takes care of the guards.
See, when I get Grimoires, I get things like Mist and Chocobo.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta live a good, clean life. which Flurry has evidently done.
And I did see Cure 4 on that Foo, so at least Foo can heal.
Yeah, that Foo on Flurry's side has all of his level 3 spells, I believe. And Quake, Virus, Nuke won't be too far behind. And that's a Darkness Crystal.
That seems mildly important.
It's just a rock.
And counting on stream, that puts Flurry at 10 key items.
And Flurry heading to Luke Cave. Is Flurry also going to do a door grind? We have not seen any sirens that I've seen. The boss at the Evil Wall spot might be a little bit tricky here. Maybe do some doors on the way down to get some levels. We'll see.
Yep. Or may just want to see what the key item is. Wants to make sure that he's not leaving a rat tail, or not a rat tail, a pink tail down here.
Yeah, the Seal Cave is an objective, so even if it's not necessarily a key item, it's good to go down to the bottom and see what you're dealing with. But yeah, Flurry not going to take the Antidel route and go after the doors. Instead, going to go straight to the bottom, see what's waiting for him there. Antidale, meanwhile, climbing the Tower of Babel, running into that Leviathan up there. We were saying it earlier, this Leviathan has a lot of HP, but not a lot of magic power, and so this fight might take a minute, but it won't be threatening.
Well, and Antidale had the heads-up play to pick up a Thunderclaw, 5,000 gold as of the new update. So I would think that this Yang is going to be putting out the damage.
Flurry going into Luca Cave, getting that pink tail.
I'm a witch!
And the Luca Cave is hard required. You gotta go there. And that means, where was the Luca Cave? Oh, that means, the Cave Magnus is hard required.
Unfortunately, you can just steal from the Dark Elf, rather than having to do music. And Flurry finding a pale dim.
So it's obvious that the dim is so pale because it's been hiding underground here. Hasn't seen hiding underground in the cave, hasn't seen the sunlight in who knows how long.
The sun is overrated. It's a big ball of fire in the sky.
Antidale picked up the Adamant from the top of the tower. Doesn't have Cecil.
We'll see if he does Dwarf Castle or just goes ahead and does his Siren Steel. And, well, he has to do Dwarf Castle. That's where the Darkness Crystal is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, unless the pass is somewhere sneaky. You need the Darkness Crystal to complete the Giant of Babel. While we have a moment, do want to thank our tracker, Reckless Charlie, who's been doing a great job keeping everything lit up. and our restreamer Ascorian for rolling this seed that's been a lot of fun so far. And thanks, Alicel. This is a really fun race to commentate, and I'm glad you're here with me.
Well, thank you, and shout-outs to you as well, Sheep Launcher.
Yeah, go ahead and give all those folks a follow. Don't cost nothing. Give our runners a follow, too. You'll get hours of entertainment.
Yep, both of these runners are very, very good runners, very high caliber.
And entertaining.
Yes, and very entertaining.
Antidale runs into Mylon Z in the cannon room, dispatches him with a quickness. And will walk down to the bottom of the tower to see what particular key item awaits him there. And depending on what's down there, could get interesting. So, Flurry has the Darkness Crystal. If Antidale gets the pass, it would give him an alternate way to get to those 4 objectives without necessarily needing the Darkness Crystal, and it'll be interesting to see.
Yep. No runner really wants to do the Giant of Babel. It's very, very long, and there can be some very, very rude bosses there in both spots.
So, you've only used your witch powers twice on this stream so far. Do you want to try and make it 3?
Magus Sisters up there. And our restreamer Scorian pointing out it's Vanilla Giant too, so you don't get to leave once you get there.
Oh, yes. Vanilla Giant, one of the new things put into the last update. This update has added some further new features, rebalanced some of the prices for items, reclassified the Excalibur and the Crystal Sword and the Adamant Armor to Tier 8. Just give us nice tier inflation.
And made the Thunderclaw cost 5,000 gold. And it's fueled with the tears of everyone who is crying over it. But Flurry has gotten through that pale dim and gets to take that pink tail out of here.
And has 2 of his 4 objectives completed. Now, you would think, with some of the jumping you can do, that you could jump out of Luca Cave relatively easily. It's not that simple. The jump mechanics down here are all wonky.
Yeah, there's nothing that makes Luca Cave easy to get in and out of. Nothing.
Believe us, we've tried. Antidale gets rescued by the Enterprise and gets the Twin Heart. One of those worthless items.
And unfortunately, the game does make you take it.
And Antidale fighting the true boss, the inventory box.
Is going to go ahead and forge. Maybe hoping for a Cecil, may just want to see what Kokol's shop has today. Goes ahead and steals from the poor old man. Monster.
Stealing right from the bookcase that he probably uses for Zoom calls too. Just add insult to injury. Antidale finally giving up on the dream of having a Murderidia sells the Bahamut
Unfortunately, no Zeus gauntlets, no power shirts.
Did get that crystal ring, though. Flurry gets his adamant armor.
Adamant seem broken. We should ban those.
Well, I heard that on some flag sets for some particular tournaments that are coming up, we have.
Yep. For those who haven't heard, the Zemus Zone 4 tournament is coming up. It starts in about 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks.
Yeah, a whole new flag set to challenge your skills against everybody else in the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise community. Qualifiers start on August 15th. You can sign up after the qualifiers start, but don't tarry too long. You play in the qualifying races to get seated in the 64 runner bracket. If this looks like fun to you and you want to jump in, get on in there. Get over to our Discord and go ahead and sign up.
And don't worry if you feel like you're not as good as some of these runners. Give it a try. Just go have some fun. It's a great time. And it looks like everything's back up. Just a little hiccup there. Happens to the best of us. Comcast.
Everything's fine. We're all fine now. How are you?
I had a temporary moment of panic, but
Whenever I play Free Enterprise, it's just a series of temporary moments of panic that continue permanently. Flurry finds a Moon Rosa and thinking about and turns his back on Porum. Oh, the betrayal.
Rosa is the better white mage, but sometimes you just gotta let the children go have nap time.
Yeah, now Flurry has an all adult party. The grown-ups are here and they're gonna take care of business. Did keep that heroine robe. We'll see if he wants to equip that Rosa with it. I know we have a couple of good bows, some decent arrows, so Rosa can really pack a punch.
I always forget that you can push B to jump, and something about Yang jumping into the sky just kills me every time.
It really is the best, and Flurry, not going to mess around with the moon bosses, going straight to the Giant of Babel, knows he can jump over the element spot, and is going to try and take care of all 4 objectives now.
Yep, this is definitely the faster play, just in terms of not having to do the lunar bosses, which there's still some pretty nasty stuff out there that could be up on the moon. Just go do your giant boss and get that crystal.
Antidale makes it through his Pale Dim, completing the sealed cave in the process. We'll head straight over to the Adamant Grotto and pick up that adamant. But yeah, there are still some bosses in the CPU spot that could give Flurry a little bit of trouble. A vanilla CPU would be bothersome. We haven't seen Kainatsu yet.
And it looks like Flurry may actually be getting ready to do a grind as well.
Yeah, breaks open that last arm chest. Sends Rosa off to Dreamland. Antidel, meanwhile, heading back to Tamra. I did not see what he picked up in that item shop.
Half a pack of Bacchus.
You know where the liquor store is, and Antidel's ready to party.
Yep.
And there's a Zeus gauntlet. Nice value from that last arm chest.
Yep, that'll be great for Cecil. Even though he only has a lightsaber. A lightsaber isn't all that bad.
No, Cecil's fourth best weapon, thereabouts. Can, with levels and that adamant armor, can do some major damage. And Frith42, thanks for the gift subs to the community. I'm sure the recipients really appreciate it. Yeah, you can subscribe to the community. You get emotes. It's worth it, in my opinion.
Yep, we have a bunch of awesome emotes drawn by our resident artist, Scala Kitty.
So Flurry checked out who the Elements boss was, and decided he wanted no part of that. Going to hop over it instead. There are some free bosses out there, King and Queen Evelyn, for example, that would give a lot of experience at that spot that Flurry wouldn't say no to. But instead runs into Octoman at the CPU spot.
This is low-key kind of gross.
Yeah, it is. Really fast until you can hit Octomam a couple times, but hits like a truck in this spot.
And unfortunately, that lightsaber not doing you a lot of good.
No, Octomam resistant to Holy. Not that Octomam is really all that nice of a creature, but Octomam has a weakness to the dark element that Dark Knight Cecil has, and to make that Cecil seem better in the early game, and so is resistant to Holy. But you see the Bafo numbers that Octomam is hitting for. Really a mess.
Meanwhile, Antidale has gotten his Darkness Crystal and is going to do a grind with those Sirens.
Yep, this is what Antidale snuck all those Sirens for. Decides not going to mess around anymore, knows he can trade away that Pinktail. Now knows he has the Darkness Crystal, and he is going to do the grind first, and then beeline. He hopes to beeline straight from there to the Giant to Zeromas. Flurry now has Blinks up on 3/4 of his party.
Yep, in a lot better shape to take on this octopus. But it is still pretty slow going.
It is. The main damage dealer is Cecil, only doing 1200 or so a swing, but Flurry is through. Picks up some nice levels. Probably not Z ready though. Who finally picks up that virus.
And I don't know if our Fu has nuke yet.
I don't think he does. I haven't seen it. So Flurry might decide to grind a little bit more up on moon bosses, might decide to take the easier boss at Mist Cave to try and get some more levels on Fu and then grind another way. Flurry has a couple options. We'll see what he does.
Flurry's gonna go kill Zeromus. After he kills the Mist Spot.
Yep, wants that nuke on Fu. Or at least wants whatever spell Fu does not have. Making sure to keep Rosa at base level for agility purposes.
Yep, I don't remember seeing either one of our runners pick up. That was a spell suite.
All of the offensive spells. Quake, Meteor, Nuke, all at once.
Yeah, I don't think either. Oh, go ahead.
Really cramming. Like, oh, my Black Magic final is tomorrow.
And looks like he does want the 1900 health just for safety. Totally understandable.
Yeah, especially since Fu doesn't have the Adamant on. Only 1800 HP could get a little dicey at Z, so going to go for a full-powered Fu.
And Shankbuster in chat asking what version this is. This is based on the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, this is version 4.4 of the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise randomizer. The new version with all the updated flags and price points.
And looks like Antidale also wants a level 1 anchor and picks up that Rydia.
Yep, awakens Rydia from her nap, says, "Wake up, Rydia, you're my new best friend." We're gonna go to the zoo. I mean to the Z.
Well, we gotta go to the giant first.
And Flurry is coming back from the moon.
Maybe Flurry wants to pick up some more Bacchus wine?
Goes back underground, and yeah, looks like Flurry forgot a few items in the shopping cart. And is heading back to Tamra.
It's not a Z party if you don't have some Bacchus.
BEERRUN, beer run, beer run, BEERRUN, beer run. All you need is a 10 and 5er car and a key and a sober driver. BEERRUN, beer run.
But Antedale is going ahead and doing the same thing that Flurry did. Going to take on the Babel, the Giant of Babel bosses, rather than trying to find a pass up on the moon.
Yeah, because Antedale did that grind, is a few minutes behind Flurry at this point, but it's still anyone's race.
Oh, I forgot neither of our runners have the pass, so they have to walk the moon.
Yep. Oh, and there are sirens up on the moon. And Flurry's gonna take some. Flurry still wants to do some grinding. And this will give Antedale an opportunity to catch up.
Prof Ness asking if characters jump higher on the moon. Yes, and slower, because there's less gravity there.
Yeah, it's just science. The reduced gravity means you get to jump, as I believe our noted scholar Sting said, giant steps are what you take walking on the moon. And giant leaps are what you take walking on the moon as well.
But once you get closer to that core, the gravity increases and your jumps are smaller.
It's all very scientifically rigorous. Fortface thought of everything. Antedale staring down his plate of sushi. And Flurry did pick up those sirens. Looks like going to go after some gold dragons.
Yep, just a couple of gold dragons. One of the most lucrative grinds available will definitely fund or get you enough XP to get very close to Zeromus levels.
Yeah, and Flurry is almost there now. Doesn't want to take a chance on it, but Zeromus at these levels would be doable. Very hard, but doable. But Flurry knows that a little bit of time invested getting some more levels will make the Z fight faster. Meanwhile, Antedale cleans up that Octomam, a much quicker fight than Flurry's, because Antedale's already completed his grind, and Antedale, you have to imagine, is on the fast track to Zeromus.
And the life glitch is actually off for this flag set. It'll be a little bit of practice for our runners for the tournament.
I didn't realize that.
At least I think the life glitch is off in the tournament.
The life glitch is certainly off in the tournament, and I didn't realize it was also off for these flags, so...
Of course, the flag set with all the jumping through walls and tower diving would have genome.
Yeah, none of the usual glitches we're used to seeing are going to be included in Zeromus Zone 4, or Zema Zone 4, and so none of them are included here. So, no Sylph glitch, no Warp glitch, no 64 floor glitch. Flurry going to... Oh, he gets the pass from the ribbon room.
That is actually very brutal.
Yeah.
Just because you could have done that as soon as you got to the moon and not had to fight anything.
It's one of those instances where you just take a deep breath, like, well, if my opponent found that, fair play to them. But Flurry is on his way down, and that means we have a question to ask.
Yep. So Zeromus loves to cosplay, and Zeromus has Sorry, that threw me off. And Zeromus has the most awesome closet of clothes. But we'd like to see what outfit Zeromus is wearing today. So would you like to ask the question?
Whose butt? We get a kick tonight. There, the question has been asked, and soon it shall be answered.
We also have to ask, is it cute or is it scary?
Or is it both? Like Oogie Boogie. And Antidale coming up right behind.
Yep, these runners are neck and neck.
Yep, we're gonna have double Z action up on your screen. Well,
and this is new for me. I've not seen this one.
I have not either, but apparently Zeromus has just bailed on us and left a note.
I think that he owes us one Z-Sprite.
Yeah, he'll get to it when he gets to it. Just come back on alternate Thursdays between 2 and 2:30, except for 2:15 to 2:20 when he's on a break. Oh, this is a great little sprite.
And I am sure that this was put in by our resident artist, Scala Kitty. This screams of her work.
Yes. I do not know if it's one of the new sprites in the version 4.4. It's new to me.
Oh, apparently it is signed by Scala Kitty. Glasses are only half the battle.
I thought the SK stood for sheep catcher. But anyway, we really have a race, and Antidale has a level advantage a little bit. So even though Antidale got in about a minute after Flurry did, might be able to get through a little bit faster. And gets a little bit better nuke luck as well. Antidale also has the Excalibur on that Cecil, in addition to some levels.
Yep. And looks like he's trying to nerf these big bangs.
I wish I could do math quickly in my head to count, but I'm sure both of these runners have a very good estimate of where they are. But this is the kind of Z fight for both these runners where you mostly set it and forget it. 3 Zerkers for each at the moment.
Yep, at the end, our 2 runners ended up having very similar teams.
Big bag on Flurry's side, and all 4 of his characters stay up.
And the Cure 4 comes out.
A little low on the magic power there, and Meteo Phase on Flurry's side.
And we have some rocks. It'll be just a couple more hits.
All 4 characters stay up for Antidale, and Flurry does it.
GG to Flurry, finishing in first place with our race with an official time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 37 seconds. and immediately followed by Antidale with a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 43 seconds, a 6-second difference.
You, we said at the beginning this was going to be a close race with two runners really at the top of the game, and it turned out to be just that, a 6-second difference. GG's to both Flurry and Antidale. It was a lot of jumping fun. We'll see if we can get them in for an interview.
And I do believe we are joined by Flurry 14. GG's.
Oh, thank you.
So, how did you feel about that seed?
It was actually
And I do believe we are joined
pretty
by
kind.
Flurry 14.
I felt a little bad not burning my J items on ordeals right away, because I felt like my early game routing was not great. So somebody who could have probably got panned right before me, or well before me, and well on their way. Other than that, I thought it was okay. I forgot about no rejoin. And then I was like, well, I hope this character is a suitable anchor on the moon, and that worked out. Forgetting to buy Bacchus and then going to the moon was definitely did not feel good. And thought maybe I could should I do I take these sirens? Do I not? I don't know, but I didn't trust it, so like I probably escaped with a win when I tried my best to give it away, but I thought the seed was relatively kind. Like the only real mean fight was that Pale Dim, and that was just for time reasons.
Yep, all those slow counters.
Ugh, right?
Yeah, he Crystal quite a bit before Antidale did, but uh, you had a little some fewer levels, and you were able to just squeak it out of the line. What was your thought when you saw that pass in the ribbon room?
Just kind of chuckled, like, okay, if somebody goes and dives darkness and does bottom up, they're probably it's probably faster than doing Luca Cave, because both players are still doing a moonwalk, but one doesn't have to go into sealed cave and the other does. But I mean, it's hard to imagine. Well, no, never mind. Pinktail came from Luca, so
Yeah, Luca was hard required.
yeah. So that was I don't think it mattered.
Giant.
It was just more of a you would have not had to do the giant, and that's a pretty hard gamble to make. So I don't feel too bad about that. It was just kind of a chuckle, like ha ha ha. I was hoping for a holy sword, but didn't get one.
Well, and you never found the adamant rock up at the top of tower, so you didn't have that that forge.
Yeah, I got real lucky pulling a lightsaber out of sealed cave on the first chest. I was like, oh, I don't have a Cecil weapon. Well, hopefully it won't hit go mode right away, and then I pulled that. So I mean, I took last arm just in case and checked those two just in case. But I did think I had a little bit of time to play with, because Anadel does tend to go tower more often than I do. Although Korgs might not, so I thought maybe I had a little bit. I'm guessing he went tower before sealed cave, maybe.
Yep, Antidale did do tower before sealed cave.
Yeah, that was kind of what I thought was going to happen. So I thought that was why I was a little less aggressive about going straight into Z. I thought I had a little bit of time to play with, but boy, having to go to the moon and back to get Bacchus wine, I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Speaking of microcorgs, he did finish in third place with a time of 1:16:33. So, GG to microcorgs there. the difference in this particular flag set was that the life glitch flag was not on. So, uh, what what's the intention behind that?
For this flag set, you have to ask Anadel. He made this one.
This
I'm just
is
gonna
just
go
so
with.
you can talk about Zima Zone 4.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna go with he's a prophet. But I mean, I think it's. I don't think you're going to demachine that often in this flag set anyway. So it's probably behemoths are a little better, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference in this flag set. ZZ4, different story. But here, like, I don't think it alternates what you're gonna do. Like, gold dragons are still faster than warlocks, I think. Especially not having a mage masher weapon. So, yeah, I don't think it does that much in this particular flag set. ZZ4, it's a huge deal, and we ain't got time for me to talk about all the things I have, all the thoughts I have there.
Well, did you have any other thoughts on this seed that you wanted to discuss?
No, I appreciate you guys taking the time to volunteer for this race. Is very fitting. I get to have a restream match against Anadel. We're kind of fighting for the #1 spot in season 2 on the ladder. I think there's a couple others who who are in contention for that. So would like to get that. You know, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Well, thank you so much.
Yep, Flurry 14 really threw down the gauntlet in the never-ending battle against Antidale to establish supremacy. Once again, GG to Flurry 14. We'll see if we can get Antidale in here for an interview as well.
And I believe we are joined by Antidale. GG's to you.
Thank you.
So that Darkness Crystal at Dwarf Castle came just a little bit later on for you. What were your thoughts on that item showing up there?
Was happier to see the Cecil than the Darkness Crystal, but always happy to get go mode.
Well, and you had just gotten that forge as well and had gone ahead and forged the Excalibur, so you just had a ready-made Cecil weapon ready to go.
Yep, that's exactly why I was way happier to see Cecil there than get Darkness, but you know, you're not unhappy with either of them, because again, go mode is go mode, and you just want to finish however you can. So, not unhappy with either of them. I see that Flurry had the pass, so I will watch back and figure out where that was, and that was the one thing that I'm like, oh, I wonder if I should check anywhere else here, but it's too much time to spend for maybe nothing on that pass.
It was in the ribbon room. He picked it up right before going to Zeromus.
Yeah, he already had the crystal by the time he picked up the
Okay.
pass.
But sometimes you just gotta check that one more chest and hope you find a Cecil weapon. But yeah, G, none.
Yep.
Flurry said you were a prophet for Zima Zone 4.
It turned out that way. I was just, when I was coming up with the flags for Season 3, the ladder had a push speed to jump flag set already. And that was mostly defined by being a lot breezier, a lot more power available to you with like T Wildish and the normal glitches. So as a way to differentiate a little bit, this got turned down to T Pro. And then because the demachining is not something that's entirely thrilling to do all the time, and I want it to be a choice here with Giant as one of the objectives, because that's a callback to Season 1. We just wanted to take away the life glitch, and then just leaving Sylph seemed strange, so I just took it off also, and it just turned out that when we were discussing flags for CZ4, there were similar conversations about what we wanted prevalence of Gene Machines to be and what we could do about it. And there was a lot of back and forth and a lot of different options thrown out, and we decided on what we did, and hopefully it ends up working out, where Gene Machine is thoughtful and not always the go-to.
Well, awesome. Was there anything else about this seed that kind of stuck out to you?
I don't think so. Tele Yang's always a little bit awkward as a start because, like, while Yang wants power, there were no sirens available right away. Or Yang wants a siren, there weren't any away, and I know I made a mistake in forgetting to give him the ribbon that I had picked up, so that cost me. Either I got him 30,000 less experience than I would have, or I did one extra door, and I was pretty sure just the way I would normally play it, it's one extra door. So that definitely cost me some time that turns out I would like to have back. But overall, it was a good seed. It was a fun seed to play, and definitely will be looking forward to next week for the last race of season 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was a fairly friendly seed with a couple of rude bosses you knew you didn't have to deal with. You knew you could say goodbye to that Golbez right away, and that Valvalis we knew was on the hook route. So it does make things a little easier when you know that. So this is the last broadcast of Mysidian Jumping Club for this season. There's one more race next week. I know you want to end it strong. What do you take away from the Jumping Club, and what do you want to do for it in the future?
I'm not sure yet what season 4 will look like if we do have a season 4. The ladder just takes up a lot of time for everyone too, so we'll see whether or not MJC comes back for a 4th season after Zima's Zone 4. And we'll see what flags are available for the next go around to see what changes might be interesting. I always want to at least highlight something slightly different, and always at least an objective or two that you can't just jump past. That's why Pinktail's been a pretty staple one so far. So we'll see what happens. I am not yet sure what is going to go on.
Well, what positive thing have you taken away from this season?
It's just fun all the time. Like, no matter what flags you have going, it's always fun to play these. I always enjoy the openness of push B to jump. You see a few less bosses, but you go a lot faster for as much as you clear, which to me is 3/4 of the point of playing randomizers like this, of completing the game way faster than you would in vanilla, and this completes it noticeably faster than non-push B. So skipping stuff that isn't interesting is always fun to me.
Well, I know I've done a couple of these races, and I know it's been a lot of fun for me. So really encourage everybody to give Antidel thanks for the Mysidian Jumping Club and for the robust push B to jump community as a whole.
Absolutely. And just give him a follow. He's a great runner, great person. So definitely give him and Flurry a follow.
And thank you, Allie and Cheap Launcher for doing comms, Reckless Charlie for doing the tracking, and Ascorian for doing the restreaming, and of course everyone watching for letting us put on a little bit of a show for you. Thank you all, and hope you have a great evening.
Yep. Thank you, Antidale, and GG's again.
Thank you.
Well, as Antidale said, do want to thank our tracker, Reckless Charlie, making his debut on tracking for us tonight. Thanks, Charlie, you did great. And Ascorian, our wonderful restreamer, for rolling this very fine seed. Alicale, thanks for the co-commentary. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And thanks to you, Sheep Launcher. It's always a pleasure. I think this is the first time we've actually been on comms together, but I've been in the restream team with you many a time.
Yep, and you can't get rid of me. Not that easily.
Unless we launch you.
Hey, there's only going to be one person launching here, and that's me.
But with that, our broadcast is finished, but we do have some more free enterprise action going on over with Martin Broadcloak, who is doing some mystery flags that we believe he came up with himself.
How can you keep a mystery from yourself? I guess we'll find out. That should be really exciting. So join us as we head over to Martin Broadcloak. But in the meantime, for all of us, thanks for joining us on Free Enterprise. So long.
Thanks, y'all, and we will see you next time.